Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life Plus Grace in Life, where grace flows through life and your life gets a plus. Today, we're tackling a feeling we all know, being completely overwhelmed. And in this explainer, we're going to break down the single most practical thing you can do when that feeling hits.
Okay, let's just dive right in, shall we? Have you ever felt like you're trying to solve, 3 million problems at once? That feeling where your to-do list has its own to-do list? Yeah, we've all been there. So, here's our game plan. We're going to break down how to find some real clarity. Not just another quick life hack. First, we'll talk about that feeling of being overwhelmed and why you're not alone. Then we'll figure out where the real answers are. After that, we'll ask, is this just some abstract idea or a real experience? Then we'll get into 2 ways to truly connect. And finally, we'll uncover the secret of a deeper life. All right, so let's jump into that first point. That feeling of being in way over your head.
I mean, life just throws so much at us, right? At home, at work, the list of demands can feel absolutely endless. You've got bills to pay, kids to raise, a boss to please. And then bam, all the unexpected crises that just pop up out of nowhere. Honestly, sometimes just getting a family of 4 out the door on time feels like a Herculean task.
It kind of reminds me of the story of Moses. I mean, can you imagine having to lead millions of people through a desert? That is a truly impossible task. And you might think, well, a great leader, they always have the answer, but that's not really the whole story. See, here's the key distinction. Moses didn't always know what the answer was, but he always knew where to find it. So that's the real million-dollar question, isn't it? Where did he go to find those answers?
Well, it turns out Moses had this special place he would go, way out, far from all the chaos of the camp. It was called the Tent of Meeting. And get this, it wasn't for business meetings or, strategy sessions with his team. Nope, it was a dedicated space for a divine encounter, a place to find clarity, peace, and real direction. And this right here shows a huge fundamental difference in how we usually approach our problems. See, most of us, we're looking for a quick fix, right? A 5-step plan, a simple what. But Moses, he looked for a place, a where. He sought a place of presence, a space for clarity, a source of peace, knowing that if he could get there, the what would become clear.
Okay, so I know what you might be thinking right about now. The presence of God, that sounds a little abstract. I have real, practical problems to solve. And you know what? That is a great point, and it's exactly what we need to dig into next. It's true, we are totally conditioned to look for practical, concrete steps. We want the 3 easy steps to success, not some vague spiritual concept. But what if the most practical thing you can do isn't a piece of information at all, but an experience? Think about it like music theory. You can study Mozart, analyze his genius, understand the entire structure of his work just from the notes on a page. And that's all super valuable knowledge. But then you go to a concert hall and you hear a live orchestra play his music. And in that moment, wow, it's not theory anymore, is it? You feel the beauty, you feel the power, the genius of it all. You get it. And let me tell you, one single moment of that experience is worth more than a lifetime of just studying the theory. So the big question is, how do we get that? How do we move from just the theory to the actual experience in our own lives? Well, there are 2 key ways to truly connect. And listen, this isn't an either-or situation. A healthy, growing life really needs both of these things. Let's think of it like a farmer's field. First, you need the frequent. This is like the daily, gentle rain that consistently nourishes the soil and helps deep roots to grow. But you also need the extraordinary. That's like the big, powerful storm that comes through and stirs everything up, bringing new nutrients to the surface. So the frequent might be just a few minutes of quiet reflection each day. The extraordinary could be a special event or weekend retreat. You see, both are absolutely essential for real growth. And this idea, well, it brings us right to the secret of a deeper life. And we can see it perfectly in the story of another leader. Okay, picture this. When Moses finished his meeting in the tent, what happened? Well, everyone would pack up their stuff and head back to their daily lives, right? Back to the noise, back to the chaos. But there was one person who didn't. Joshua, Moses' young assistant. He lingered. He stayed. And here's the thing. Joshua wasn't chosen to be the next great leader just because he was brave or had a lot of faith. He was chosen because he had this deep, deep hunger for that experience of presence. He just wanted more. And that, right there, brings us to our Life Plus moment.
The desire to linger, to seek that experience over just another quick fix, is what truly elevates us.
So, this is the crucial point and your big takeaway for today. It's really a question for you to sit with. When everyone else packs up and goes home, what are you lingering for? What is that thing in your life that you desire more of? Not another task, not another achievement, but a deeper connection that can bring clarity to everything else. Find a moment today to seek that where, not just another what.
That's our explainer for today. I really hope this adds a real plus to your life. Life plus, grace in life. See you next time.